Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wiley. We talking about the Bulls today. We're gonna do a Bulls review, and if we talking Bulls, you know we had to bring a couple people to help us do this. We got my man James in the building. We got my man Bird in the building. We talking about the Chicago Bulls. Unfortunately, they did not make the playoffs. The Chicago Bulls had a coaching change this year, a whole front office change this year. They made some improvement, but this year was kind of a crazy year because of the pandemic. They had a bunch of injuries. They made a big time trade in the middle of the season. But Zach LaVine, as we spoke off air, caught COVID towards the end of the season.
So they say.
Yeah, so whatever happened, none with excuses. The Bulls did not make the play-in game this year. So it's a little disappointing, I'm pretty sure. And to make things worse, if they don't get a top 4 pick, they won't have a first round pick this year. So we really got to see what's going on with the Bulls. So I'm going to start with you, Bird. Would the Bulls have made the playoffs if LaVine did not get COVID?
I think they had a better chance. I don't think it was guaranteed. I mean, the teams, if we go back and refer to the show we did about their chances when, the teams that I thought was going to be better than them in the end was better than them. The Charlottes, the Atlantas, the Indiana, like they was better than them. And the Bulls' inconsistency that they showed all year, that's what had me. That's the thing that had me worried was I don't know. When they played good, it looked good, but they couldn't find a level of consistency to make me comfortable with saying, yeah, they can do it. So that was their problem. They wasn't able to put together those 5-6 games in a row here and there that they needed, and because they lacked the consistency because they can't stop a damn nosebleed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think they improved offensively a lot. The Bulls could score with every team in the league, but they can't stop nothing. Can't stop nothing. So that's where it is with me. Like I'm not 100%. I think they would have had a better chance. They would have put up a better fight for it. But that lack of defense, in the end, I think still would have came and bit them in the ass.
They definitely was one of the worst defensive teams in the league, no question. Yeah. James, you was on the Bulls bandwagon all year this year. Sure. You had me almost believing they was going to be in the playoffs.
I was skeptical. Like, I don't know. We might have to. Yeah, Brooks changing.
Yeah, he changed. But they had me thinking they was going to go. I was on the bandwagon, and they kind of didn't happen. So was Zach LaVine getting COVID the only reason the Bulls didn't make the playoffs?
So it wasn't the only reason. I agree with Bird on this. It was more so they would have had definitely a better chance. You look at it, Zach missed the last 11 games or missed a good portion of 11 games. They missed it by 2 games. It's definitely amongst them 11 that he missed. I see them getting at least 5 or 6 of them games. Like come on now. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Who's out there is who's out there. It's just odd to me that Zach LaVine is the only member and player out of everyone that hangs and travels and plays together that got COVID. Yeah. But anyway, they saying he got it and he had it, so he had to miss. I believe that had he been in there, they would have. Had they not made it, they would have at least been closer than the 2 games. Because 2 games is real close for your main guy to miss 11 games. Like your main head guy missed 11 games, so that's huge for me.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a big blow. But Adi, give me your thoughts on this. Did Zach LaVine catch a COVID? Was that the main reason the Bulls did not make the playoffs?
Well, that's a tough question. I've been going back and forth with this. Well, because in the last 4 games before Zach LaVine's coronavirus fiasco, the Bulls was up 4 points versus the Atlanta Hawks with 6 minutes to go in that game. And then Trae Young went crazy at 42 points, 9 assists in that game. The Bulls lost that game by 12. The very next game against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Bulls were down 3 points, 48 seconds to go. Pick and roll, D'Angelo Russell, Karl-Anthony Towns, then Troy Brown and Daniel Tice double team D'Angelo Russell, pass to a wide open cat for the 3, the nail in the coffin. Bulls lose to the Timberwolves. Very next game, the Bulls played the Grizzlies, and the Bulls shot 31 threes in that game, only made 5, and Zach LaVine and Nikola Vucevic combined for 36% shooting that game. They couldn't throw a rock in a lake. They lost the game, it was broke as hell, and then they played the damn Orlando Magic, and they was losing about 20 points in the 4th quarter, And Wendell Carter Jr. had 19 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, only 1 turnover, and the Bulls lost to the Atlanta Magic 4-game losing streak before the coronavirus with the Zach LaVine situation. And so, now, then after the Orlando Magic bullshit went down, then they said Zach LaVine had coronavirus. So then the Bulls, he missed 11 games. The Bulls lost 7 out of those 11 games, okay? But the thing is, at that point in time, Nikola Vucevic and Zach LaVine only played 10 games together, okay? And since Nikola Vucevic joined the Bulls, first game with the Bulls, March 27th, the Bulls was number 17 in the NBA in turnovers per game. That may not sound great to the viewers, but that's great for the Bulls because they was the worst team in the NBA in turnovers before Vooch came over. Yeah. And when Zach LaVine finally returned to the lineup, the Bulls did win 4 out of the 5 games when LaVine rejoined Vooch and them and things like that. And then they won 4 out of the last 5 games. Like James said, they did miss the play-in tournament by 2 games behind the Charlotte Hornets. And the Bulls swept the Hornets this season. I feel like not only would the Bulls have made the play-in tournament if Zach LaVine didn't get corona, the Bulls would have made the 8th seed. I feel like the Bulls would have got through the play-in tournament. They would have made the 8th seed to play the Philadelphia 76ers in the first round of the playoffs. I agree with you, James. I think the Bulls would have made the playoffs if he didn't get corona.
Listen, I know what I said on the last show that the you gassed me up. I was following your lead, you told me, and I picked the Bulls. Yeah. But hell no. Listen, the Bulls lost way too many games. You just outlined it perfectly. You just made my argument for me. They lost 4 games in a row with LaVine going down the street before he caught the COVID.
A lot of the good teams was losing too, though, down the stretch. It wasn't just the Bulls. The Wizards was losing big games. The Pacers was losing big games. Teams was losing some games.
But those teams also went on winning streaks.
Yeah, the Bulls
pull themselves back up.
And they had their best players.
And it's a name. Yeah, well, I guess we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But I just think
it's another reason the Bulls ain't doing a lot of winning.
Yeah, I just think. Throughout the season, it was, you named 4 games. It was so many games like that this year that the Bulls.
The Dame Lillard game when he shot, when we did the
off a jump ball, all that stuff. When because you're gonna listen, injury is part of the game.
The Bulls is a real example, and sometimes you got to really learn how to win. The Bulls don't know how to win. They don't. They botch games like that Portland game. They botched that game. Yeah. So winning basketball is Zach. You make sure you get that damn jump ball. Yeah. You jumping over the goddamn Sears Tower in the damn crip line, but you can't get the jump ball of a point guard? Yeah. So you half-assed it. And he didn't. They got the ball, and guess who they got on their team?
Same time.
You can't, so Zach, partially that's your fault. You got the most tops in the NBA down there.
Yeah.
I will say this in the Bulls' defense. I think that 72-game schedule also screwed the Bulls too. If it was 82 games, the Bulls were 2 games back from Charlotte. The 72 games shortened the season by 10 games also hurt us.
I mean, listen, everybody plays 72 games. Well, let's stop making these excuses for the Bulls. They didn't get it done. They didn't get it done. Okay, they
wasn't good enough.
That's all to it. They just wasn't.
But we on the way to being good.
So they made an improvement though. It was an improvement.
They definitely made it. They wasn't this close last year.
And so it
wasn't no hope.
Yeah, there was.
Now it's just an inkling of it. You know?
So I just think it was just too many games. Like go back to it. Too many games they blew during the season.
Too many bad losses.
Bad losses.
Come on with it.
And it's hard to overcome it.
Let's talk about it.
With your best player.
Yeah.
With your best player.
Let's talk about it, man.
All right, Bird. Let's talk.
First year coach.
All right, who was the most disappointing Bull, Bird?
Laurie motherfucking Martin.
That's very easy.
Yeah, that's easy.
That was the easiest question.
Yeah, that was easy.
He tried to get tough towards the end and was missing dunks and shit. I'm like, how you want to get tough?
Listen. I wrote it as simple on my paper. The man had a chance to earn a big contract and played his way out that. When you play yourself out of the Bulls wanted to give him that money. He played himself out of it. So, what team? The Bulls is one of the top 5 teams that you expect to waste their damn money on a player. So when the Bulls tell you we ain't gonna give you the money, you really, you know what I'm saying? So
you bad.
Again, and we know the potential. We still see the potential, but I think it's run its course in Chicago with him, man. Because again, when they told him, look, we're not finna extend you right now, that was supposed to be your motivation. That was supposed to be your what was my man Joe Flacco moment. You know, I'm betting on myself. And I'm about to get the bag.
Like Jimmy Butler did. But he turned it down.
But it might not be Indu. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it need to be somebody else's dream. And we need them motherfuckers to help us with some reality around it.
James, who was the most disappointing boy? You agree with?
Yeah, I agree with Bird, Larry Marketing, hands down. I mean, this is the guy that's supposed to be able to stretch the floor. He should go inside instead of shooting 23s when you're only making 2 of them. You know, it's time to adjust your game.
You're not the shooter.
Use that big body. You know, he's a big disappointment, man. I just never saw his aggression. I never saw him get angry out there. I never saw any improvement in him. I mean, towards the end of the season, he was trying to get tough and make moves to the hole, but he was missing the dunks. It's just not in him, man. Like you said, he just don't have that in him, man.
Could it be the Bulls? Could it just be the situation he's in?
Nah. Because everybody else.
You're getting somewhere.
When you got rid of Boylan Ball, you saw improvements in everyone else except for marketing.
Well, hold on. To be fair, to be fair, before they put him on the bench, he was averaging 19 points a game.
Yeah.
Before they put him on the bench.
But what does that say?
Most of the season. Yeah.
What does that say about his mental fortitude? Well, if you getting benched or you something not going your way and your productivity decreases. Like, okay, you're an NBA player, man. Like, take that shit personal. If you getting benched, show them why you shouldn't be on the bench.
Well, if you're on the bench, if you're on the bench and you only getting 15 to 20 minutes a game, you know you ain't got much time.
Well, that must mean you ain't busting ass in practice.
It's something going on.
We can't just look at game day. He be having whole weeks and shit to practice and show improve. As a person that has coached before, if somebody busting ass in practice consistently, they're going to start. Yeah. I'm not going to start the guy that you killing. So I'm not going to assume marketing was wiping the floor with these niggas in practice and then the coach just hating on him on game day for some reason. I think he was showing that same lack of heart that the coach been wanting to see. So like, okay, you're not going to show me that? Sit your ass down.
Unfortunately, you might be right. Who's your most disappointed? Is it marketing too?
Yes. Okay. So look,
that says a lot. Okay, that's your guy.
Okay. So look, man, unbeknownst to us, the big boost trade was the beginning of the end of Lauri Markkanen in Chicago. Now, Roach just brought the stats, like how he was doing before the trade, okay? Yeah. Now, after the trade, Lauri Markkanen only averaged 10 points a game. Only 10 after that big trade. Vucevic took over the paint. Yeah. And then Lauri Markkanen became solely a 7-foot spot-up shooter once again. Yep. And Billy Donovan was talking about how Nikola Vucevic and Daniel Tice in the lineup caused him to put Lauri Markkanen at small forward. We all know he's not a small forward. He was playing him at small forward, playing him out of position. Lauri Markkanen said next season he wants to start at power forward, and he's an unrestricted free agent. I don't know what we can get in a sign and trade for Lauri Markkanen, but
washing machine.
Well, he's not as bad as you think. I'm talking about the Portland Trail Blazers, the Boston Celtics, the Miami Heat. I'm telling you, you go on one of them teams, we're gonna see him in the playoffs next year doing some big things. He can put up a dub.
If you put Fellatio on one of them teams, he'll be in the playoffs too.
Marketing is gonna be contributing. He's gonna be putting up. He can go to Portland, Boston, Miami. They gonna be offering Lauri Markkanen.
One of them teams will be in the playoffs.
Man, look,
he's gonna contribute to the success.
I was with Adi a little bit. Like, I was big on marketing. I was one of those guys who was big on the marketing trade. Yeah. Especially after I saw him this rookie year, I was like, okay, we got a guy 7 foot, athletic, can shoot threes, go dunk on somebody. And then slowly the aggression started going away. And then the beginning of this year, he came out with some aggression. It looked like, okay, Markkanen got a new coach. Billy Donovan is good there. Maybe he, could turn the leaf. But whatever happened, they traded for.
He's not a small forward. But
then shouldn't you just dominate the small forward guy that's guarding you if you oversize?
Listen, he ain't quick.
But Nikola Vucevic is in the paint. He's controlling the paint. Yeah. He can't clog up the paint.
But it seemed like when Lauri had all the chances in the world to control the paint, he never took advantage of it. It
No, Markkanen didn't do himself no favor.
He didn't show us, hey, I want to control the paint. Yeah. He was out there like 3. Three.
He definitely didn't do himself no favors, and he probably will not be back with the Bulls. He's probably gonna go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a team like Adi said. It's gonna gonna pay him, probably overpay for him. But I just felt like marketing. One thing he did not benefit from this whole time in Chicago. He never had the prototype point guard play with.
He did
to set him up and get him easy shots, and that's big for a guy because he can't get. He's a big man. He's not bringing the ball up the court. He's not the one that's initiating offense. He has to be fed, and I don't think he never had that guy that fed him, on the pick and roll, get him some easy shots, get him some easy layups. He didn't have that point guard that played like that. So I think that affected him, but there's no excuse. I was unfortunate. I don't know what Billy Donovan was right or wrong, but he benched him for Thaddeus Young.
Thaddeus Johnson?
Yeah, it was. Look, the Bulls didn't have a chance to win a championship. I felt like you shouldn't have benched him right there. I feel like you got to see what you got in this guy. You might as well go ahead and
play. That's how frustrated Billy Donovan was with his production, man. That he benched him for that.
I mean, he benched him and Kobe White. So I mean, Billy Donovan benched two of Jerry Crowd. I mean, not Cross. Garpax. Big time.
But Kobe came back playing better after his bench experience, though.
Yeah, and Kobe went back to scoring.
That's what he should.
Well, Zach LaVine got hurt, so that's when he stepped. I mean, it's not like Vooch got hurt and then Mark got a chance to show his thing. But Zach LaVine got hurt. Kobe came in there. And
Vooch actually did miss a couple games.
He missed a couple games.
And Mark still wasn't like, let me just do.
Well, I don't know what's gonna happen with Mark.
That bad. Excuses.
He is excuses. I'm with Bird.
Another marginal victory.
So what's gonna happen when Harden, Irvin, and fucking Durant on the court? When somebody's gonna be bad? Like, no, they're gonna all fucking kill. Because they all can play. If you can play, and you gonna play. But if you a punk, like Marvin is showing that he may be, then that's the reason Kobe came off the bench and played better. Because he ain't no punk, he didn't pout. His confidence ain't go nowhere. I still can kill. None of these point guards are better than me on the team, coach. You're going to have to play me. Guess what? I'm going to play. And I'm going to produce when I get in the game. Marketing didn't do that.
No, he did. I mean, it's just what it is. I mean, he ended up averaging on the season 13.6 and 7 rebounds. Just not good enough.
Really?
Not good enough.
Not that much?
Yeah, not good enough. James, which Bull exceeded expectations the most?
Exceeded expectations the most? Man. Can I say none of them? No.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, truthfully, I mean, Zach did what he should have done. I don't think he over-exceeded. I was looking for more out of Pat Williams. I really can't say somebody really blew me away this season on the Bulls that they did more than I thought they would. I mean...
So nobody.
I would got to be honest. I can't see nobody. I was like, hey, you did more than I thought you would do. I can't say that with this Bulls team this year. I mean, Thad played a little better, but he's still a vet. He should have. That's him, I mean, I didn't see nobody that really stood out to me that they just, did so much better this year. No most improved awards for the Bulls.
That's fair. Adi, what you think? Who was the most player that surprised you on the Bulls this year?
Well, James just said it. Thaddeus Young. Okay, the man, he took over the power forward spot.
If anybody, I would have said him. But at the same time, that's always been his MO. You know what I'm saying? He played like he would have played if we had a real coach last year.
Well, I'll tell you this, man.
But somebody had to get it. I will give it to Thad.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, he took over the starting power forward position. No one predicted that. He's an excellent distributor from the high post.
That's nice, yeah.
Very nice in the pick and roll. He's very reliable in the ISO post game. Yeah. And he had a career high field goal percentage, shooting 56% from the field. That was number 5 in the NBA amongst power forwards. He had a career high in assists, 4.3 assists this season. He led the Bulls in steals. I mean, that's definitely he exceeded expectations. He's 33 years old. He's got a few good years left in him, and I hope he retires as a Chicago Bull.
Wow,
Thaddeus Young.
Thaddeus Johnson, man. I like that, man.
Yeah,
I like that, man. Thaddeus actually came through.
Bird, who surprised you? Who stepped up for the Bulls? You thought this year?
Well, I thought that Young I didn't expect him to have like the little productivity, the little aura around his season that he had. Like, he's always been a consistent vet, but to him getting a damn nickname and all that shit this year, and all that. You know what I'm saying? So that means he was doing something. So I feel like Thad Young actually gave the Bulls exactly what they would have needed had they had a more consistent, better team around.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, he's just on a super young team that's trying to learn everywhere. I mean, our best player is still learning how to be that leader of a winning team. Let's just be real. Our best player has never played for a winning team.
Never been to the playoffs.
So all of them are learning. So on the fly. So, but Thad Young, I thought if we did have a more veteran presence and more experience, I think he would have made us. He would have been that difference maker for us in the playoff scenario. Like I would like to have him on the team when we do. Get to the, to that where we're supposed to be, because he's always, one of them good piece players. But I think the fact that the guy that was supposed to be starting over him, the fact that he wasn't shit, it took away from his productivity. Imagine if the guy that was supposed to start over him was actually producing with what Thad was doing. Yeah. Ooh, what about then? What if the guy that's supposed to be the big guy?
I'm trying to be his defense lawyer. I'm trying to be Laurie Marketing's defense lawyer.
I wish Marketing would have got with Dirk.
He was putting up some numbers before the boost.
He didn't do shit over the summer, man. Like, what was he doing over the summer?
God.
All the time in the butt.
Everybody can't be Cochran for OJ. We're trying to defend this dude, man. Everybody, if it don't fit, you must have quit. It ain't gonna work for Marketing.
We'll see him in Miami or something.
Hey,
I don't know.
Can I just say this before we
We'll see him in Miami.
I do have to say, we all Bulls fans here. Some more optimistic than others. But I have to say this just because it just popped in my head. And in the immortal words of the great Denny Green, they are who we thought they were. That's all. They are who we thought they were, man. We had a spark when we made the trade, like, ooh, okay, but when we saw them drop 4 and 5 in a row, they are who we thought they still were.
Yeah, they are who they thought.
Can't stop no damn.
I mean, if I got one, I just go Zach LaVine. 27.4, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shot over 50%. I'm gonna go ahead and give his just due. He had a monster year. He kind of exceeded my expectations. I know
he went to the next level.
He went to the next level. I'm not gonna, I know he had.
Which he should. We gave up Jimmy Butler for him.
Yeah, he had the talent to do it, but to actually see him do it, it's been a while since we've seen a Bulls player actually improve and become that in the season. So I'm gonna give him his credit.
Yeah, that would be my number 2 guy. Yeah.
So now the hard part is coming. The off season. You got your new coach last year. You got your new president of basketball operations. You got a new GM. You made a trade. You got you a nice big man in Vucevic last year. Now you got Zach LaVine, who's coming off a monster season, made the All-Star team. You pretty much got 2 All-Stars on your team now. When the last time the Bulls had 2 All-Stars on the team? I think
Gasol and Jimmy Butler.
Or Luau Davis and Joakim, whatever that happened, that's the last time. It's been a while. So, but with that being said, they did not make the playoffs. So, Bird, talk to me. What should the Bulls' first move be? I'm dumbfounded. This, I don't even know. So, school me to the game. What should the Bulls do in this offseason? How are we going to improve as a team? Because you got to remember, before you go, if they do not get a top 4 pick, they will not have a first round next year.
It's not. I think it's not what most people think. Most people gonna say, "Oh, we gotta get a point guard," which I'm not against getting a point guard, but I don't think that's what they need to focus on unless some special player is emergent. I don't think point guard is the thing that they need to be blaming everything on. For them to get to another level in the next season, they need to get a certified perimeter defender, number 1. Somebody who's a real perimeter defender that can, if you got one guy that's a defensive leader, he can improve the rest of the players just off them seeing his effort alone, you know what I'm saying? That, and they need another all-star caliber player, not just a point guard, but an all-star caliber player. He don't have to be, this point guard talk is funny to me because I thought the NBA damn near was positionless basketball. Again, it's a center playing point guard for Denver. I don't like the whole point guard, this point guard, that he needs to. If you have a player that's productive, you need to kind of find other players that fit. All right, because getting rid of a productive player just to try to bring in a player that fits an idea, I think is silly. You know, Kobe White is a damn good player to me. I think he's not doing nothing but getting better. And if he gets the confidence, then I think he's going to project into an all-star caliber player one day. And I think he has the potential to. Okay. Now, the person that I hear people want to replace him with, as if it's just going to instant be, oh, we finna be sweet if we get Lonzo Ball. But
hey, we will.
But guess what?
Can't say that.
Kobe White numbers is 15, 4.6 assists, 4.1 rebounds, 41.7% from the field. Lonzo Ball, 14.6 points, 4.8 rebounds, 5.7 assists. All right, so he a 1.6 assists better. That don't sound like Magic versus, you know what I'm saying? B.J. Armstrong to me. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, but
he shoots 41%. We know. I mean, my thing is this: Alonzo Ball and I'm gonna pass the ball after this. Alonzo Ball has been in the NBA for what? This is fifth year? Fourth or fifth year?
He came in with Laurie Martin. He came in 2017.
This is fourth year.
This is fourth year.
This is fourth year. Okay. Let's not forget the teammates this great point guard has had. Kobe White ain't played with no goddamn LeBron James caliber player. I love Zach LaVine. He ain't LeBron James. Right. He ain't played with Zion and Ingram.
True.
Okay, yeah, but your man has. So if he is point guard, he's supposed to be getting more than 5.7 assists. If he is his brother, he would have more. So his brother is the point guard that people act like Lonzo is. Not that Lonzo's a bad player, but I'm looking at Kobe like, why is everybody so quick to put it all on my man's when he just do what he can within the game, and he's done very well. When the last time we drafted a player that averaged 13 in their rookie year, 15 in their second year? When we had that?
But check this out, Bird. I think a point guard will help Kobe's game. Because they're not going to look at him and say, be our point guard. He can slip into that Ben Gordon, Benny Johnson role
talking about the positions in itself is fucking up his mentality. Let the man play the game.
That's why you feel
if he's not out there getting assists, make sure you sign a player that do. It don't have to be a point guard. Again, who the hell is the point guard for the Denver Nuggets? Are they not one of the top teams in the league?
They are. They are.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so, but
Kyrie Irving on paper is going to go into the Hall of Fame as a what? Scorer.
Point guard.
But what they signed James Harden to do?
The point guard. Yeah.
So we gonna put it all on Kobe when we got a productive player. When truth is, you need to find you the player that supplements him and stop putting it all on him like it's his fault. And I passed the rock.
No. I get what you're saying, but I don't think no one here is saying that Kobe is the problem.
There is not a better.
I don't think Kobe. No,
he is the improvement.
I don't think Kobe's the problem. I think Kobe's a damn good player. I just like him when he's looking to score, like Adi brought it up. When Zach LaVine got hurt and he got put into that scorer's role, he's much better. He don't need to be worried about getting assists, getting everybody involved. When he's looking to score, he's better at that.
But
and
he's a good passer.
He's a good passer, but he's 20 times better at scoring. That's what we will. So look, if I'm a coach, I want him to score. I'm like, we need to find ways to get him the ball so he can score.
So don't you think it makes sense to not come at that man? We need point guard. What you think they do to his man? If he know I can play the game, I can score, but they keep saying we need more of a natural point guard. So he's gonna go out there and try to play that. And guess what? He's gonna mess up because he's not playing.
And I think that's why we need that point guard. So we don't have to have that pressure on him.
Let him play the game.
I think the point guard would make Kobe White game.
Listen, name the top 5 point guards in the league. Ain't nobody gonna be Stockton or Magic. It ain't that. Chris Paul is the only point guard like that, and that's it. You other guys is Damian Lillard. This nigga's known for was shooting from
Rondo.
half court.
Can't forget about Rondo.
He don't fucking count. Get out of here. Rondo is not nowhere near no top nothing.
But Rondo's still
Rondo a top 10 point guard.
Rondo is still one of the last old school point guards left though.
And he's meaningless at this point.
Into the playoffs. We already know playoff Rondo what that's gonna bring.
All right, hold on. All right, James. Tell me, what should we know you think about point guard. Is that the only thing they need to improve on?
Point guard and a defensive player. And if that defensive player can come as a form of an all-star player, that'll be the perfect match made in heaven. But for me, the point guard will help Kobe White because it'll take the pressure off of him into thinking he needs to be a point guard. I feel like he'll get set up more, and I feel like having that true point guard, Kobe can piggyback off that, and it'll help his actual overall game. Because there have been situations when I'm watching the Bulls game and I see Kobe doing his thing, and it'd be like a screen or a slip or a play where I'm like, this player is wide open, but Kobe's mind is not really built like that. So he's just more of a scorer, more of a, I'm gonna make the play. But there have been times I'm like, man, he can just bounce past that motherfucker right there. It'd be a great layup.
Passes
I get that, but it's just certain.
It's like a magnifying glass on this kid.
It's like a demeanor. It's just a certain demeanor that you kind of pick up on when it comes to how somebody is going to distribute the ball, and he just. And there's no knock on him that he doesn't have that. He has a different ability, which is to score the ball. Yeah. But the Bulls not having that person that can run the floor.
Is the off season? That's just what I want to know. I'm gonna stop defending Kobe, but please tell me who this improvement is.
Okay, so I was looking at it, man. I'm looking at free agents, the point guards that's available. Of course, Chris Paul got a playoff option, but we know he's not.
Yeah, he's
not coming. Let's forget about that. Mike Conley and Kyle Lowry will be unrestricted free agents this year, so they're
too.
Do you want them? No, they signed them to this past offseason. So those are older guys. All they're not going to go with Conley and Kyle Lowry, and then really to me, the best option would be Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, it would.
He's a restricted free agent though, so we don't know if the Pelicans would match any offer. If the Bulls did offer contracts to Lonzo Ball, would the Pelicans match? I don't know. So that's really the only option, and so me, I'm just kind of like, I'm starting to get content with Kobe White as a point guard. I'm starting to just be like, you know what, just let's see, because Kobe White was he was talking, he was getting interviewed, he said, you know what, I'm gonna be a really good point guard. Bird brought up a good point. This is his second year in the league, right?
Yeah.
So he can still learn a position, he can still get better, he can still improve. He only played 2 years in the league. True. So the options, the alternatives to Kobe White this offseason, not really seen.
Not a lot out there.
So I would say, hey, let him play point guard.
He definitely ain't played bad enough for us to be like, we got to improve on his position. Like, no, he's not the priority.
I don't think point guard is his position. They like forcing him.
Kobe White is a good player. I think he's going to be a very good player. So I just think right now he's more lethal as a scorer. And to me, he's more dangerous when he's looking to score. That's just it. But
I got a question for you when you finish. Go ahead.
No, but with that being said, point guard is not the only position the Bulls need. They need a center who can play defense, a rim roller, somebody who can go catch alley-oops, somebody that can block shots, somebody who can protect the rim. That is one thing they're lacking right there. Now I know they got Daniel Tice. I don't think he's the real protector that I'm thinking of. But I don't know who's out there.
Well, you got. I will say the name. The boy with the big ass afro played for Cleveland. He used to play for the Nets.
Aaron Jones.
He's the
what's his name? Jared Allen.
Yeah.
So he's a really good rim protector. He's exactly what.
But you want to sacrifice the all around game, not game, but all the other stats that play like Vucevic just to have a Jared Allen. If you want to make that switch, then you got to bring more offensively adapt players around. If you go, because you're not going to have Jared and Vucevic on the roster.
Can they get JaVale McGee?
Why couldn't you?
Yeah, well, you could, but at power forward.
You don't want them guys on the floor at the same time.
Well,
so what you're saying? You want Jared Allen? You paying them starters money for him to come off the bench, or what are y'all saying?
No, I'm just giving you options of guys.
Vucevic ain't coming off the bench.
No, hell no.
No, he's not going to play power forward.
The Bulls,
they
need a defensive big man down there, but they need a point guard, but they need a defensive big man.
Another guy, so Jared Allen is a restricted free agent. Then another guy, Rashad Holmes for the Sacramento Kings. He averaged 14 points, 8 rebounds last year. He's 6'10". He does He's one of them rim runners, shot blockers, alley-oop catching kind of guys. So he could be a guy that you take off the bench to back up. You're going to have Thaddeus and Vooch starting. You can have Holmes and you can have Daniel Tice coming off the bench, playing some defense. That could be an option.
Now that'll help. Now what you talk about with Kobe, that would help Kobe because you know what? Now if he's coming off, he got somebody that can go up there and go get it. That would help him out a lot.
Let me ask y'all a question regarding point guard. Do y'all consider Tony Parker a pure point guard?
No. Parker was more.
He was a floor general though.
I think
he definitely was a floor general. Without Parker in there, certain things don't happen.
He became a floor general.
He got better as time.
Greg Popovich had the same kind of issues that motherfuckers had with Kobe White.
They did. They was gonna be Jason Kidd. That's true.
But guess what? At the end of the day, he stopped focusing on trying to make him into Steve Nash or Stockton and let him play his game. Until when people stop putting a microscope on this kid game and appreciate his productivity for what it is, he's gonna become a player like Tony Parker did. However, you can't, like Tony Parker had the luxury of the Tim Duncans and the David Robertsons and the players like that. Like it go after Zach. And people just skip marketing or something like he's not a big thing. It go right to Kobe. Like, oh no, we gotta get a point guard. No, like this dude, the people around him are not producing the way they're supposed to. His trajectory is great.
Yeah, I like Kobe. I think he's a good player. I think he's gonna be a good player. I just feel like if another point guard is on the team where he can focus on doing what you talking about, playing his game. That's when I think he will flourish.
He dunked on Stanley Johnson.
I think he
dunked on Stanley Johnson against Toronto Raptors. I was at that game. That was a hell of a dunk. Good job, Kobe White.
Yes, Kobe, but
he had a good block too the other night.
Kobe gonna make believers out of fans, man. That's all.
I hope you're right.
I don't not believe in Kobe. I
like Kobe.
His game would get better with a point guard on the team.
So
it'll take that pressure off him thinking that he got to be the point guard.
Again, I think that's the problem. Everybody's saying
that's like we want to tell
let the man play point guard.
We want to tell him Ben Gordon, hey Ben Gordon, go be our point guard, and then whatever happens, we're gonna blame you.
Greg Popovich didn't say, hey, Tony, go out and give me 10 assists a day, a night. Right. Did he? No.
Right.
Yeah, we get it. So we look. We all want Kobe White to succeed. That's basically what it comes down to.
It's not his fault, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
No, definitely ain't his fault.
It ain't all his. No, I don't think none of us said it was his fault. I just think
it's guard Pat's fault, man.
We need a point guard is literally the first thing that comes out of everybody's mouth when they say,
well, it's been like that.
Point guard. Shit, we need a point guard. Right now, get a point guard.
It's been like that since we traded D Rose, man. Since D Rose left town, we ain't had no.
And now we got a point guard. You know what Derrick Rose averaged his rookie year?
What do you have?
About 16?
13.
13?
No.
I thought it was like
15, 16.
No, Derrick Rose was rookie of the year.
He was rookie of the year.
14 can Derrick Rose
he averaged 16.
Maybe 16.
I thought it was
Somebody looked that up right quick before we go. Somebody looked that up.
I'm about to.
I thought it was 16.
He only averaged 23 when he won.
Matter of fact,
He only averaged 23 when he won.
I think he averaged 20 this rookie year.
I thought he averaged 16.
16.
Somebody looked that up.
I'm going 16.
Somebody looked that up.
I'm going 16.
Somebody.
16 and 5.
I'm going 20 and 5.
I'm going 16 and like 6
I'm going 20 and 5
for the rookie year.
Rookie year
2008. 16.8
okay.
And 6. I was there.
16. Okay. All right.
16 and 6. Now look. Now you was about to talk about what I want to talk about.
Go ahead. Go for it.
Now you talking about the rookie, my man Patrick Williams. Okay.
Yeah.
And so now like you said, Roach, if we don't get a top 4 pick and everything, it goes to Orlando Magic. Free agency, it ain't looking too exciting to me. All right. I'm not really excited on picking up somebody this offseason.
Just to pick one, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking at the Bulls need to do whatever it takes to get Patrick Williams to have him get a sophomore elite next year. Now, we saw him have a career high 24 points against the Brooklyn Nets last week.
Yep.
The man was killing. He was hitting the little spot up jumpers, pump fakes, drives to the hole in the paint, cutting and moving out the ball, crashing the boards for tip ins, tip dunks, stuff like that. Now he's been compared to Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard, but if he wants to get on close to those guys' level, he needs to develop a post game. He needs to get in the post and try to post up and things like that. And the man is 6'8". He's 220 pounds, especially when he's going against small guards out there on the court. And the man only averaged 1.7 free throw attempts per game.
Yeah.
The Bulls was the worst team in the NBA in free throw attempts. I want Patrick Williams with his big 6'8", 220 pound self to develop. I rarely saw him posting up this season. To go in the post, go in the paint, and get aggressive down there, get some free throw attempts, and develop his game. He needs to take his game to another level next season. Patrick Williams, that's the main thing I'm focusing on for the Bulls this offseason.
Yeah, I agree, Patrick.
Yeah.
Got to get more aggressive.
He definitely got to be more aggressive. Well, unfortunately, the Bulls did not make the play-in game. We're going to see next year. We don't know what moves they're really going to make. We can argue who's going to be the point guard, who's going to be the center. The bottom line, whatever they got right now is not good enough. That's what it comes
to improve. Zach already said he'll take a discount if they can, if they can find some players. Like he was like, I won't even take the max if y'all can get me some guys in there.
Now, I'm going to give you an optimistic view. Nikola Vucevic and Zach LaVine only played 15 games.
Yeah, it's not. We're not really bad.
They only played 15 games.
Yeah, it's not a cloudy.
I'm not
for once, since the 90s or since Rose, we're not looking into a gray cloud.
Yeah.
It's actually a little sun peeking, you know what I'm saying? But they're going to have to do,
They're going to have to spend some money. They're going to have to make strategic trades, pick up some smart veterans, some veterans to help out the team.
Yeah.
And when the free agent build that team up, and when that superstar free agent is available, they better strike and go get him. I mean, or at least put your best foot forward. That's that's all you can do. So hopefully the Bulls, I mean, like you say, they are better. We're going to see Vucevic for a whole season next year. We shall see. But right now, they're not a playoff team, so they got a lot of work to do. Anything else, anybody? All right. In the meantime, all right. Thank you, James. Thank you, Bird. I'm Zach, along with my partner, Mr. Ali Wadi.
Wrap it up like a mummy.
Spectator Sporting. Peace.